last time on Dice Funk.
You have taken over the farm, robot.
Yes, the genius built the good neighbors to help the villagers in their absence, and they're still gone, so I'm using them to help.
I am not trying to trick you into anything, Molt. I know that you want the villagers to all love you.
Oh, well, I'm going to go around the village with you, and we're going to find out what everybody wants, and then we're going to give it to them, and then they're going to have to love us.
It doesn't strike Kat as very weird, because again, backstory, like, Kat is used to Nobi being a dickhead. So the snack itself, not weird, but the fact that it's a wafer.
Yeah, our friend here wants to be the governor again, because he felt like he was helping people, and now he feels like he's useless, and nobody likes him, and they're just leaving him here. So he's like, feels lonely and useless and shit.
I was wondering if you could get some of your fruit and work perhaps with Potter in secret to brew some alcohol.
I'm not going to make you roll for this, I think, because if you ask, oh, can the Baku sniff you to know what you want, Farmer Applewhite will just come out and say she wants help on the farm, and she feels like no one comes out and helps her, and she has to feed everyone by herself, and is growing resentful of that responsibility.
Nobi, I think you're cool too.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
Marina, would you like for everyone to think you are cool again?
Anakin sniffs on Moonstars to detect what she wants. Is it that you are completely satisfied? I was thinking that you would want, revenge for Neelith's murder, to, dismember and eat, I believe you said, the killer?
Oh yeah, that. I want to do that. I want to eat them.
Okay. I think that's what Anne sniffs out is
they have to suffer for a long time first. It sweetens the meat.
Cat is planning to kill you.
Oh, piss.
Mold receives this information without betraying any particular reaction, just still lying there as the snow piles up on them. But after a moment to think about it, Mold says to Anne, "So tell me about these tulpas."
Yeah, hey, everyone, you like books, right? Probably, maybe?
Yeah.
You like when I, Laura Dale, tell stories and am a person who helps craft fiction. What if I told you I was writing a book, a novel, a fiction book for the first time? I'm writing it with my wife, Jane. It's called Who Hunts the Whale? It is a definitely very fictional, not based in reality novel set in a very fictional video game development studio, one of those big budget AAA ones that farms out games full of microtransactions every year. And it is from the perspective of someone working very closely with terrible executives, trying to deal with, oh goodness, how do I handle what is happening here? It's definitely fictional. It's very fictional.
I've got a problem with what you're describing already. I personally am someone who wants to read a book and get mad at the guys in it, whether I've been told they're real or not. Despite it being definitely very fictional, if I wanted to read it and think to myself, these are real things that happen in the games industry for real, constantly, all the time. Could I do that with your book? Even though it's completely fictional?
Even though it's completely fictional, you could do that, and I suspect by the time you finish it, the book might have nudged you in the direction that, hey, maybe you should imagine that these are real things happening and that maybe you should be angry about them because maybe nothing will change if you don't care about them changing. And that maybe you think about that while enjoying it's weird to try and write satire in about the fucking video game industry right now, but I've given it a fucking good shot with my lovely wife Jane. So, Who Hunts the Whale? You can pre-order it on Unbound. You can get a bunch of different reward tiers, including one where the fictional video game company, Supremacy Software, you can get a bunch of promotional tat with their company logo on, like t-shirts
Supremacy
and pens. Yeah, Supremacy Software. You get tote bags, t-shirts, pens, all of the sort of marketing gubbins a company like that would throw at you.
I would be kind of scared people would think I was an actual racist.
I was gonna say, like, with all that swag, you could, with all that tat, you could look like just like a booth babe or otherwise from home. You just
Oh yeah. If you are lonely, put on all those booth babe clothes and look in the mirror.
Unfortunately, our demographic is not lonely. People who listen to Dice Funk are getting laid constantly. They can't get enough. It's really...
Well, that's fine. If you're getting laid constantly, you can buy multiple copies if you like, so you and all of your sexual partners can read.
Right.
Who Hunts the Whale? It's on Unbound now.
Everyone I've ever met who plays Dungeons and Dragons is a total freak, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Since I joined the podcast, I started re-listening to it, and then because I became a listener of Dice Funk, the amount of sex I was having just went through the roof. That's the thing about listeners of Dice Funk.
Oh my god, that's actually true for me too. I don't know if it's related though.
It is.
But yeah, I'm going to explicitly say this. If you buy a copy of Who Hunts the Whale, your chances of sex going to go up a little bit. It's a good book.
It'll make you an interesting person, which enhances your sex stat.
True.
Yeah. People will ask, what are you reading? And you can be like, oh yeah, I'm reading a totally fictional, but maybe not, story about the video game industry and its abuses. It's quite an informative read, and people will be interested in you when they hear you're reading such a cool book.
A fictional / alternate reality based book. And you could have smart conversations about it. And people would be like, whoa.
It's clearly fictional because there is no company that exists that makes video games that is called Supremacy Software. Therefore, it has to be fictional.
That's true. I have checked. I just Googled it just now. There isn't one. So she's right about that.
Exactly. So, like, it's definitely fiction. And I can legally say that it's fiction.
I like the move away from sex sells, meaning we will include attractive people in the marketing, and to just being like, you will have sex if you buy my book.
I mean, it's the pickup artist marketing strat, and I feel like I'm going to take it.
Look, in the time I've been writing the book, I've done sex, therefore, by transitive properties, the book must make sex happen.
This is definitely a first date, like, flex. Like, first of all, I'm reading a physical book. I'm not even listening to it. I'm looking at it with my eyes. Already, I'm better than you, and my sex desirability has gone up. I will say all of this out loud on a date.
And I mean, if you want to be a real flex, you can get a signed copy if you like, signed by both me and my wife, the pair of authors who've been working on this for the last 6 months. It's a real good book. You can have it signed.
If you go home with someone and they don't have a Laura Kate Dale book, don't fuck them.
Yeah, that's not that's sketch. Do you think if I, like, made a chart and, like, did the calculations with a spreadsheet and then showed my date, hey, because I read this book and it has an intersection of several desirable things, my points have gone up above your points. So therefore...
Well, you have to pull out your character sheet, Mari, and show them your charisma stat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can see that this gives me a +2 to charisma bonus. You need to respect that and acknowledge it.
I think I can guarantee that.
Yeah, you say to them, you were concerned about hypergamy. You were concerned that you were being the beta bucks side of the Chad Fox beta bucks dichotomy, and but no, now you can see that actually you're the one who is dating upwards. See, because I've overtaken you.
Only Sigmas listen to Dice Funk. We know this.
Right, it's true. Every listener of Dice Funk, you look them up. What they look like? John Wick. John fucking Wick. You just need to picture that sexy boy.
All crimson chin motherfuckers.
I'm being serious. Like, every polyamorous person I've met yet, they're like, yeah, and I also host a Dungeons and Dragons thing. And I'm like, you just want to have enough partners to play Dungeons and Dragons. I know it.
It goes a little both ways, but yeah.
My polycule's DPS is wild.
It's true, though. Also, Austin, is Joe the name of your female partner?
Joa, yeah. It's Joanna, but Joa is what she goes by, yeah.
So, and you said that since they're gone, you're not going to do anything but atrophy. So, in essence, you have proven that men will die without proper care. They'll just lay there.
Someone's been reading Jake Gyllenhaal's manifesto.
What the fuck is that? What is... I don't want to hear about famous rich white men's opinions. They're just always weird. Like, I'm sorry.
Is this the not bathing thing?
Oh, he just did an interview where he said women are superior to men. That was all. I just thought it was funny.
Oh, okay, cool.
I sent it to some friends being like, hell yeah, we are.
Is it like in a cool way or in like a weird, like worshipping the yoni weird way? Where you're like, okay.
I know which one I hope it is.
I think he's a certified freak. He also doesn't bathe, apparently. I was just going to say, though, because of the ongoing global situation, Joa and I haven't really been out of each other's presence for like 2 years. There's only been like 2 points where we weren't in the same building. One, I got a piece of rubber stuck in my ear and had to call her to come get it out. And the other,
proof that men will die. Will immediately die.
That's a Sigma move. I'm sorry. That's,
This time I went in the kitchen. As soon as she left, I went to turn on the light, ripped the chain right out of the light fixture.
Good
Austin's
gosh,
returning
Austin.
to Monkey too rapidly as soon as Joe is out of his life.
You can't be trusted alone. You've become codependent.
Oh no.
Or was he just like this before, and now he's like reverting back? As soon as they walked out the door, Austin just laid on the floor and started just dying. That's it.
And the only cure for this is to buy a copy of Who Hunts the Whale now on Unbound. Go pre-order.
Yeah. So the voice from Bubbles say, "Do you want Austin Yorsky to die? If not, buy a copy today. Buy 2. You gotta do it to be safe."
I do! I want Austin. I want that guy you said. I haven't heard of him, but I'm just a spiteful person.
Do you want to be a sex haver? Buy this book.
Do you want to do a sex?
No, I hate sex and Austin Yorsky.
All right, 10 minutes of that. I'll edit out the part about fucking someone with a gun. You guys want to talk about where we left off?
Edit that out, but then leave the part out where you say you're going to edit it out. Leave that in so that they can always wonder.
I really like the idea that scrolls that have the fireball spell written on them, if they impact a surface, will explode. That's good.
I love that.
That's good.
I actually have a very specific influence for that particular plot development, which is there's a film called Vertical Limit I saw when I was like 10, and it's never left me. I don't even think it's good. I think it probably sucks ass. But it's about like these mountain climbers who are, climbing, I think, K2, and they each have nitroglycerin with them to clear obstacles. And so like the main, tension of the movie is that these mother effing nitroglycerin containers keep blowing up these climbers. And so when I had to think of a double botch consequence, I was like, there were some climbers who had, this universe's equivalent of nitroglycerin, fireball scrolls, very unstable, and they just exploded.
I just think the lore that you've established is going to have enormous kickback that you haven't yet considered. Like, if there's a spell of invisibility on a scroll and the scroll gets dropped, you lost your scroll. It turns invisible because you set it off. Mm-hmm. Any spell that's written down and is dropped is set off by the impact.
I'm still thinking about how 2 men went mountain climbing with bombs. What?
Dudes rock.
What are they talking? No, do they?
Yeah. I will say that is, gosh, I need to keep that in mind, Austin, for the next Shard Point episode, which is in development right now. I might need to get in touch with you about it, but I just love it. I just love this thing. This cart falls off and it just blows the fuck up.
Okay, so we've all died in an avalanche, but that's fine. I got to do my self-promotion. It's all good.
Yeah, I already had a backup character, so the rest of the season...
I'm playing as the Pizza Rats.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
See, if you had seen Vertical Limit, now is the part where you have to scramble for survival. The film doesn't end just because a couple of bombs went off. Also, it's my headcanon that they're unstable because they've been left out in the snow. It's like nitroglycerin sweats over time, right? And it becomes more unstable. So these
You got scroll sweat.
If you don't take good care of your scrolls and you get like coffee stains on them and shit, they become more unstable.
Oh, fuck.
This is why wizards are such nerds about all their paperwork. Because if they get tatty, then like you try and
Oh no, fireball is leaking out of the tear in the corner of my scroll. Oh no.
You try and use detect magic, and you accidentally uncover truths about yourself because you looked inside your soul.
What happens if you use it to wipe your butt and stuff? Is that so if you spilled stuff on it, could you change the spell?
That's actually the least of your worries in D&D world because mimics exist. So
Yeah.
it's a whole other thing that you got to be worried about in that situation, honestly.
Oh my god, mimics could mimic toilet paper.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about personally.
Oh fuck.
Or, if you're into it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, if someone's pretending to be my toilet paper, I don't think they're gonna try and harm me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there for a good time.
We gotta move on. So the double botch, just the most delicious of situations. I was looking for a place to end that episode, and I was like, I wonder where it would be a natural. Oh, thank you for this beautiful cliffhanger. Also a film by Sylvester Stallone, not Vertical Limit, the previously mentioned mountain climbing film. There's a lot of them.
The Italian Stallion?
Oh yeah. You guys want to talk about his?
Google that. You're welcome
Do you want to talk about his dick?
if you want.
It's out there. So there are two botch consequences. The first is that the explosion from the fireball scrolls, causes all of you hanging on these ropes to slam into the wall, and one of your Beyblades shatters into 1,000,000 pieces. You lose 1/3 of your supplies immediately. The other consequence is that the rumbling from the explosion causes an ice fall somewhere up the mountain. Something shifts, something cracks and breaks, and you hear the distant rumbling of an avalanche. What do?
I'm gonna say that I think Basil would have been traveling very close to Arze.
Mm-hmm.
So, Basil is going to make physical contact with Arze. I believe I can do this with one other person. You can bring one willing creature of your size or smaller. Is Arze Basil's size or smaller?
Oh, almost certainly, yes.
Cool. Okay, dimension door. We're going to teleport up the top of that cliff. If it's anywhere within 500 feet.
Yeah, Basil and Arze go to the top of this sheer wall you were climbing, and you can see from that vantage point, you just land on this bluff, and you can look up and see a wall of snow moving towards you. Phillippa and Slimer still on the ropes below.
Are they holding on okay at the second?
Yeah, I didn't make the botch consequence that anybody lets go or falls. Is the supplies lost in the avalanche, so everyone is no one's taken damage or fallen.
I think Phillippa, who is a bird, I'll just get this out of the way right now, will just fly directly up as high as possible, especially if there's rumbling. So it's just I'm going to fly up and hover, hopefully for longer than this avalanche goes on. And if I'm above the ground later, and help other people. There you go.
In order to try and help, Basil wants to use Mage Hand to start pulling the rope up now that he's up the top.
Yeah, there's 3 of you up there.
Yeah.
There's 3 of you up there now, so you can pull the rope up faster than Slime could climb. All 4 of you are up on the top of this sheer wall now, and your 2 Beyblades kind of come with you. I assume you've tied ropes to them. They float.
Sure.
Not being super precious about that. But the important thing is now the 100-foot wall of snowy death just barreling down on you. This is like a beautiful moment of you all standing on this cliff, turning around and looking up at the mountain as the mountain comes to you.
Yeah.
Can I cast web? Will that do anything? Between 2 points to I don't know, cause something to stop it. Oh wait! Oh, I can cast. Do we have enough time to cast Tiny Hut again? That we can all get inside of it.
That's what I was about to ask about. Does Tiny Hut stay in place if it's hit by an avalanche?
Nothing can move it.
Yeah, read Tiny Hut to the audience. I believe casting time of 1 minute.
Yeah. So if I really start puking now, we can get it. Radius immobile dome of force springs into existence around and above you, remains stationary for the duration. The spell ends if you leave the area. 9 creatures, medium size, can go in. Within the dome, you cast the spell, can move in freely. All creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. So all objects, snow is an object. Spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it. The atmosphere inside the space is comfortable, warm, and dry.
Sounds perfect to me.
Yeah.
Pay me the picture.
I just want to say, when you start doing it, Phillippa's going to say, when the snow settles, I will melt back down to try to clear a path so you are not snowed in. And she's going to fly up again, like, because she's planning to, like, hover up above until the snow settles.
Yeah.
That's super smart.
Yeah.
Let me Google, how long does avalanche last?
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't know. She's just hoping it's not long, literally.
It's trying to give me Chevrolet avalanches. Thank you, Google.
Avalanches usually last for under a minute once they reach, like, the place where you are, so... bird can fly for a minute.
Absolutely.
So what color do you guys want the tiny hut? Any color.
What's the
You can
quickest colour? Ochre.
Oh, jeez. Red's the
Pink,
fastest.
Pink.
Go, pink, go, pink, pink.
Pink. Pink.
Somewhere Char Aznable looks sadly into the sky.
Is it pink or is it salmon? I don't know. Okay, just pick one. I'm colorblind anyway.
All right, pay me the picture because this works.
All right, slime just starts puking as hard as they can. It's pink. And just at the very last second, right as the snow is about to kill us all, the dome seals itself on top of the group.
Perfect. Phillippa, can I get a strength saving throw for your arms? You've been climbing is the only reason. Obviously, you're a bird. It's not really that much of an effort normally.
15.
Perfect. Now you pay me the picture. I guess you don't have to do it immediately, but because we can get a little shot inside the tiny hut in between here. But everything works perfectly. The city of Townsville is safe.
Phillippa just flies straight up from where they are making the tiny hut, and she's going to try her best to stay exactly where she flew up from, so that she'll be able to melt straight down when the snow settles. And after everything does come to a stop, and she like slowly flaps slower to like lower herself onto the snow. I think with like the last few days, this is like literally the first time she's been on her own, except for when she was buried by a terrifying centipede monster. And when she lands on the snow, she just goes, and just looks around for a minute before she casts Flame Blade. Yeah, she just takes a minute to appreciate that she's on her own for a second and has a moment of peace.
And now Phillippa's the one that digs us out.
Right.
Yeah, wait, what's that moment of peace look for the people in the tiny hut? You're like, oh, I bet Phillippa's dead. Rip Phillippa.
All right, so Ozzy is just, very tired because he has 2 levels of exhaustion and just... I can't thank you both enough for helping me there. I probably didn't have a chance in the middle of all of that.
That's alright, I'm glad I could be helpful. I did it! I was helpful, yeah!
I hope that, everyone is fine back in town, but at this point we are... Oh, geez, how far are we from the top? I wonder...
Enter me.
That's the tent.
Austin, can we wait until after recording's finished?
Look, Austin, I know you got us all into your D&D group so that we could all also be a polycule, but give us some space sometimes.
I mean, the 3 of us are probably the 4 of us are not I don't think an adequate substitute for Joe anyway. So whatever.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either. I'm just saying it.
As
She listens
Ozzy's,
to the show.
as Ozzy's saying, as Ozzy's saying what Ozzy just said, you hear from outside, and the glowing flames as the snow is melted away, and the flap of the hut is lifted up, showing Phillippa, who's making that noise herself. Because she thinks it's fun.
Hell yeah.
She's
If I had
holding
a
a-
fire sword, I would do that.
Yeah, she's holding a sword made of fire that she's conjured with magic, and she's just, as she melts the snow, she's plunging it into the snow and going, and she's like, she opens the flap and goes, "Oh, how the tables have turned because of what happened yesterday."
Indeed. You're definitely better equipped for digging us out, but so,
Pretty cool sword, yeah.
yes.
And she lets go of it with a kind of a flourish, a little flick, like she's recoiling something, and the flame like whips out and then disappears into thin air.
I know I should probably be terrified for my life. I've seen so much cool stuff up here. It's been pretty good. So many new things.
I am starting to feel a lot better. This might have been the perfect possible time for a hike.
I've quarantined all of my emotional cells into one spot so I don't act irrationally, but now I can feel them screaming all the time.
Oh no, do you have one very scared pancreas going on?
In a sense, yes.
It's I appreciate that you're getting enjoyment from the journey itself. It reminds me of, well, part of what my job was back then, when it was the travel being as meaningful as being in the presence of the new world. So,
I mean, if the walk here is like this, I do not know how I am gonna handle getting up there. That's gonna be a lot.
I do wonder if there's anyone that, well, had their attention piqued by the avalanche itself, but we should probably be getting out of this drift here and getting to some better visibility.
So I maybe should not have made lightsaber noises.
I mean, I encourage the lightsaber noises. How did they go again? I want to try.
And she flicks her hand, but in the same flourish but reversed, and then summons the flame blade out of thin air, and she goes,
Pyong, pyong,
Like this? With my official Star Wars lightsaber?
pyong.
hell yeah.
Nah, more like pyong.
And Phillippa's going, yes, but like, zoom.
Zoom. Zoom.
And she starts to melt a path that is less steep and much more climbable up out of the drift away from the tiny hut, going zoom, zoom, zoom the whole way.
Okay. You germ your way up through the newly fallen snow. Can I get survival checks from the group to navigate this terrain? Because everything's kind of shifted now. There's, quite a lot of new snow here in the paths.
Ozzy rolled a 10.
4.
10.
Basil rolled a crit 23.
Unfortunately, you're exhausted, so you did not.
Oh no.
Unless what you roll next is higher. No.
I'll get an 18. 18's still pretty good. I'll take an 18.
10, 10, 18, 4. So the group passes average, so you were able to navigate up out of where you are without over much difficulty. I mean, it still sucks, like wading through all the snow. Like, it's all loose now, so when you're trying to walk through it, it's all getting packed down. It's hard climbing, but nobody takes any damage or gains any additional exhaustion. So this is just, right now, it's a steep uphill climb through the avalanche snow. What are you all doing or talking about?
Basil has not stopped making those noises this entire walk.
Can Basil cast Flame Blade? Because if so, he could do it on his horn.
Yeah, He certainly doesn't know it right now, but I'm going to look into whether that's a thing he could learn at next level up, because I think he would like to.
It has occurred to me that my daughter is soon going to not be able to speak because the person who bestowed speech onto her has been murdered.
Oh, yep, that did happen.
Well, I ate some of Neela's brains and got little pieces of different recipes, but the one I need most is to complete is the one with the tongue sandwich. Otherwise, my daughter will be cursed to nonverbalness forever.
That is incredibly important. That is, yeah. I can probably help with that. I can't help with the food side of it. It's not something I have much experience with, but I can probably help with the how to put magic words into the thing if that bit would be useful.
Yes, I think my daughter does like to talk.
Yeah, I talking is good. I do appreciate being able to do so. I think Basil will attempt to teach tongues as best possible. I think it might be a little bit difficult as Basil, as a warlock, hasn't really had to think about how they do magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much just it just sort of happens response, but I think Basil will do their best to be like, this is where it feels like the magic is coming from, and this is how I'm channeling it, and this is what I'm thinking about when it comes out, and try and teach it that way.
Yeah, and also last climbing episode, you made jerky out of the remarays. So that's also cooking adjacent. Can I get intelligence checks from both of you? These are not with disadvantage. I think it's like you've been talking about what to do about Cat's speech, and then you settle down for camp for the night, and a Slime, you're trying a recipe, and Basil, you're trying to teach tongues.
Oh.
Okay.
21.
16.
Hell yeah, both successes. So yeah, paint me the picture. You don't get tongues now. That's a level up thing, but this is like an in-universe justification, and also the first step of Slime learning to cook, because you said you wanted to experiment in a little bit. So this is like the first roll we've done. What are you cooking here at the camp, Slime? How does this look, Basil?
Slime, by way of who they are, has a hard time conceptualizing the need for good flavors, but is willing to learn because they know on a factual basis other people enjoy them. They just don't know why.
Look, I know it's not strictly necessary for this to function, but you will have an easier time with this if you do a little bit of spice, if you sprinkle a little of that on there, if you got it, it will make it something that they want to come back to a little bit quicker. But yeah, just sort of as you're making it, really sort of concentrate on that sort of mouthfeel, focused on the tongue, focus on the little taste buds, and sort of channel the magic of the taste buds and the magic of the tongue right sort of at the thing as you're making it, and there you go.
Nah, taste. Okay. They move two of their mouths. The third one still has Neelith in it, trying to emulate mouth sounds and thinking about it being put into the recipe.
Yeah, you don't have to enjoy the presence of the tongue. Just sort of acknowledge it's there as you do your magic. Really think about that tongue being a thing that exists.
Tongue.
There you go, you got it.
I'm emotionally distressed.
I'm sorry. Magic can be a lot sometimes. Think about the tongues, but also the fact that your kid is going to be able to talk and continue talking, and hopefully that'll counterbalance the tongueness.
My grief is significant, and yet the world moves on as if it didn't happen. I don't know how to do this.
Slime took Neelith's body from the crime scene, right?
Yeah, it's in one of Slime's mouths.
Just checking.
It's in a bottle.
I remember.
I'm concerned anytime that Sophie asks anything.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the implication here? The tone in which I was like, have I done something wrong?
I just wanted to know. Because we had the crime scene, and then we went away and prepared to go up the mountain, and then we're up the mountain, and it just occurred to me right now, Neelith just is with us. Okay.
Weird, Sophie. It's like people don't trust you now.
Yeah, it sucks. Every day is hell for me. Yes.
Hey, I'm 100% equally as complicit as you. I get off scot-free. Ha ha!
Next season, my character's gonna be an adorable baby. Everyone's gonna love.
I'm gonna murder your adorable
I'm gonna
baby next
engineer
season.
ways for people to betray me so that they'll be angry at you all, not me.
I'm going to murder your baby. That's the jacket quote for your new book, Laura.
I will say that while the cooking lesson's going, Ozzy probably has like a book out with star notes on it, and it's just like jotting things down, reviewing notes he's had from prior treks up the mountain and such. But otherwise, just being a little bit quiet after, well, the exhaustion of traveling.
Oh, all I was gonna do to end the scene, I think, is Basil was gonna. I don't think I don't think Basil knows whether this would be accepted or not, but can offer you a hug.
Thank you. Slime uses as many hands as they can to embrace Basil. Just every hand.
Basil mage hands to have a big hand with which to join the hug.
I'm always worried when a character gets introduced late that they're not going to have enough time to bond with the rest of the cast, but I do love the Basil Slime social link speedrun. You gotta get Slime's persona. It's so powerful.
Both of them don't have much prior experience with socializing. I think it's a perfect match.
No, yeah, it's almost too perfect. The longest living life form and the most newly born life form in existence.
Opposites attract. People just fit into each other's niches. Think about it. Basil has no hands. Slime, entirely hands. That's it. I've read enough yaoi to know this. It's all about the hands. Hands is what makes
Opposites
relationships happen.
Yeah, that's why snakes and millipedes are best friends.
Exactly.
You gotta fit in those gooey niches. Gotta get right in those slimy crevices. What were we talking about?
Slime.
Oh, I don't know.
Basil and Slime finished making friends.
So after Slime and Basil make dinner, everyone goes to bed, and you awaken to find the weather has taken a turn. Higher up on the mountain, the visibility has dropped very, very sharply. You are essentially in whiteout conditions. You can see sunlight kind of peeking through, but there's a thick mist, and with the snow from the avalanche kicking up, all this loose snow into the air and stuff, you can barely see like 5 feet in front of you. It's light out. It's not dark. It's just white out. So can I get nature to even know where to start? Nature checks from everybody.
10.
Okay, 10.
Yeah, 10, 13, 15, 10, above average. So you all are able to figure out by where the elevation changes and consulting Ozzy's notes and using just what you know about mountains and snow and so forth, how to proceed safely. So it's much slower going because you kind of can't see where a crevasse might be or if you're about to be eaten by something, but you move slowly and surely, and the party does not get lost, which would have been the consequence. So what do you all talk about as you just walk through what seems to be a world of mist?
I'm making another phantom steed.
Yeah, yeah, the ritual creature returns. I love him.
Yeah.
Phillippa says, I'm really getting a lot of use. She's like going on and on about her flame blade that she's just super into now. She's like, I'm really getting a lot of use out of this. I might just get more fire spells in future. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't had a chance yet to talk with any plants, and I'm realizing, Ozzy, are there plants in the new world?
Most certainly, yes.
I will talk to them.
Oh, there's gonna be animals. I can talk to them. Oh, we're gonna talk to so many things up there.
Trying to think of anything that Ozzy can do to help in this outside of just making everyone move faster.
Hey, would Gust be good at clearing some mist?
Oh, homie, you know it would be good.
Well, it's a cantrip, so I can just do that.
Fuck.
I can just do that
Phillippa.
whenever I feel.
It's almost like you used to live up on this mountain.
Yeah, it's a little, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But Ozzy will actually comment on Phillippa, just sort of like, and say like, you, I don't think you said you never made the trek to the top of the mountain, but you're...
Well, there's no societies there, and I study societies.
But you're really showing your experience being in the mountain, at the very least.
Oh, thank you. I've mostly been in the one place, but I guess off the back of that, then Phillippa turns around and is like, I know what we can do about this mist. And I think she just flaps her wings, but you can tell that something magical is going on. I don't think that there's any kind of illusory big magic wings or anything, but she's flapping her wings, but the wind generated from this is far, far more than little tiny Phillippa could generate, and so it blows up, I guess, blows a path in the mist is what I'm kind of imagining. Because it's just like a straightforward direction of gust of wind, so, right? It clears what's in front of us.
Some classic Pidgeotto shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I picture like a little bit of like an anime sort of gleam on the tip of the wings before they just, before like one frame later they flap forward and a puff of wind just goes forward and just kind of clears visibility as we move along. So it's just like... I can always picture Phillippa having other vocalizations to go along with this as well.
What do we see?
This was a great use of a cantrip because, yes, when I had you roll for nature, you got average, so you weren't in immediate danger, but I was concerned about you seeing an upcoming crevasse ahead of you. There's a crack in an ice sheet, which you could easily fall into ahead that you see now after you've gusted away the mist, and it is significantly less dangerous. So tell me how you cross this. No disadvantage because of the gust on it. Whatever you do here.
How far is the gap?
It is. You would have to roll to jump it, but it doesn't seem impossible. It just seems like it'd be a cool action set piece jump.
I think Phillippa's just going to be really boring again, as ever, throughout this entire mountain climb, because she's a bird climbing a mountain. So she just flies, little flap of the wings, little flutter across. Ain't no big.
Oh no, a hole.
Oh my god, a hole.
I'm very ready for next season
one
Austin to just be like, and every character with wings accidentally falls over and breaks their wings.
It's like, and welcome to the reason why some tables actually ban Aarakocra as a race option.
Wow.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I let players get into some wild shit. I mean, fuck, slime.
Yeah.
Slime would not be allowed at any table.
Nope.
It's absolutely ludicrous.
No.
Anyway,
Why not?
it's just not done. It's
Why?
It's a party foul, but I want you to live
Why?
your dreams.
Wait, what's a party foul?
Your entire
awesome?
character.
Why?
Circumventing death, doing certain things with spells that are a little bit outside of course.
If you really set your mind to it, you would easily take over the whole world. I mean, look at what Mold is doing. Like, you could just do that.
Well, that's why I'm not doing it, because it's too OP, unless I use this new spell.
One of the things that Ozzy can do to help with the jumping, could be using another instance of Imbue Constellation to grant himself, Slime, and Basil with bull strength, which will give advantage on strength checks and double carrying capacity for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, I want to actually state, if you're on your Phantom Steed, Slime, you already have advantage. So I don't think the game really has double advantage, but I guess you could roll 3 times if you won. You're probably fine.
I thought it would just negate the exhaustion disadvantage or something.
The gust already gave you that.
Oh.
You have quadruple advantage.
Traditionally,
yeah.
the only way to roll 3 dice is you have the lucky feat, which means that if you have disadvantage, you actually have advantage, which is like the funny stuff too. But
So, did you say Basil now has advantage on strength?
on the strength check, yeah, for
Cool. Hell yeah. Let me do a strength check then and see about maybe getting over this thing. 16.
Of course.
11 for Haze, so not great, but it's not 3. It's not a 3.
Basil gallops and does a majestic leap through the air.
Oh my god. Mari, 11, 5, and 6.
Yeah, it just didn't work for me.
I mean, it still got, I needed 10. We got 11, 11, 16. So with all these bonuses, it still was close, but nobody falls in the crevasse. But I guess, Ozzy, you just barely make it.
Yeah.
And the Phantom Steed just takes it easy. Just really leisurely.
Well, the Phantom Steed, it's not really a steed. So just imagine all the body parts just like rolling up, It's just the body parts making it up, just bit by bit. I just want to make sure you're not imagining horse movements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, don't get it twisted. We are aware of your macabre sense of things.
Mm-hmm.
So on the other side of this crevasse, Phillippa, you can continue to gust the whiteout away to some extent, and you can see up ahead, it's still in the distance, but you can see the peak of Mount Grendel and where it touches the sky. And this is, if we were playing Call of Cthulhu, I might make you do like a sanity check now, because seeing a mountain pierce through the sky is a lot to take in. Mm-hmm. So I think all of you are kind of just momentarily stunned by what you've seen, I guess, except for Aze, who has seen it before, but it's the scale is terrifying in a way, and it also really hits home that the sky is fake in a way. This is a thing about our world building, which may come as a surprise to new listeners who didn't kind of pick up on this, but the sky is the floor of a new world, less so than an actual sky the way we think of it, and it's when you see it, you're like, what am I looking at?
Is this like the world knife from his Dark Materials?
The Subtle Knife, one of my favorite book series. Yeah, it's.
You watch a show? It's good.
I didn't love the show, but I did watch it.
It was at least not the movie adaptation that existed.
I mean, it's not good. I did get blown through most of that movie, so I don't remember it.
Hold on a second.
Really well.
Austin, I'm never horny. You're Steve.
I'm just saying, I remember it fondly, is what I'm saying.
So we've got the Golden Compass and the Epcot Ball.
There's the Wendy's incident, and now this.
This is what I'm saying. Dungeons and Dragon players. Fuck. I'm 17, got a 2-hour blowjob? Okay. Like that's a Dungeons and Dragons player.
And I'm just sitting over here like, wait, there's a post tube? Shit.
Hold on, let me look up the runtime.
Whenever I hear that anyone plays D&D, I immediately whenever I hear that anyone has a lot of sex, I immediately wonder what class they mean.
Yeah.
I wasn't the whole time, Mari. I had to stop when the bear was on screen because it's like, no, stop, hold on, the bear's here. I love the bear.
It's Yorick Benson.
I love him. He's my hero.
The alcoholic bear. Yeah.
Oh fuck, he's so good. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the sky, the subtle knife. Yes. So you can all see that in the distance. What do you do?
An hour and 53 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how long the movie was.
It's that elevator you go up in Dark Souls 2 where it's like the top of a tower and you get in it and you go up and then it opens and it's like a lava world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you buy the fan theory that that's an intentional world building choice and not just people made levels by themselves and then stuck them together?
It absolutely feels that way to me, like the former to me when I'm playing it. Like it absolutely feels like a world that is deliberately extremely fucked. And From Software also like include allusions to Lovecraft throughout all of their works. And I'm kind of like, it's a very Lovecraftian style of thing to do, to just like accidentally fall between worlds.
Yeah, I want to talk about From Software. I want to talk about From Software more because I want to rep Lost Kingdoms, but we do have to continue. Please play Lost Kingdoms for the GameCube. It fucking rocks.
So Aze will kind of pull himself forward as well as he can and make a gesture up to, well, the opening, the passage, the where the sky has been pierced and split, and will say, "This is, well, not the end of our journey, but a culmination of our work so far."
It's quite something.
I have a question. So, like, this world seems fine, and I'm wondering why it's fine.
So you're saying the village of Grendel seems fine. So many of your friends are dead, and if you listen to the last season, it was like full of cannibals and ruins and stuff.
Oh.
Is a little bit Mad Max-esque down in the rest of the world.
Oh, okay.
Outside of this village is not as nice, yeah. But it's getting better because of what people in the last season did. But yeah, this is all lore for longtime listeners, new listeners. As far as you're concerned, this little village and its mass murder problem is like the nicest place in the post-apocalypse.
Oh, so we're abandoning this world and going to Mars. I mean, the new world.
Some people are. Some people are perfectly happy doing Mad Max shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
In fact, this isn't going to be relevant this season, but just to note out there is a new generation of less powerful gods. They are shrouded in mystery, but they are out there. And if, like, for instance, one of you this season wanted to play a cleric or a paladin, that would have been a plot element. But none of you did, so it hasn't come up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she said something.
I'm gonna take a leveling cleric just to fuck
Oh, I love you guys.
We love you too, Austin.
Why don't we do something about supplies? Because you lost 1/3 of them. I think now is the time where we reckon with this. Does anybody have a role about what you do about your supplies? If you don't suggest one, I will.
Survival seems like the most obvious one in terms of taking the supplies we have and figuring out how they can stretch, at least.
Yeah.
If not, also thinking about whether we can pick up anything else. Like,
Yep, that works for me. Let's do survival.
15.
Oh boy.
Aze is going to tap into the starry form of the scribe before he taps into this for a reason.
10.
So the result of that is an 8. However, being the scribe allows him to treat a roll on an int or wisdom check that comes out as 10 or 9 or lower as a 10. So that's a 15.
So Slime is the only one who fails. So you're going to get a second level of exhaustion.
No!
As the supplies, the supplies that were lost were most relevant to you.
Mari,
So
that was a
you
very
can-
cute no.
Thank you.
So why don't you paint me this picture? I think now Aze and Slime are the only ones with 2 exhaustion. Everyone else has 1.
Slime's emotional turmoil as they try to hold it in a quarantine zone inside their body is causing problems.
What would you say before? It was like the fear spleen or something. What was that phrase someone used earlier?
I've seen that David Cronenberg film.
The spooky pancreas.
It's a pink. Wait, Laura said it. I can't remember.
I think I've said pancreas. I don't remember what emotion was stored there, but
Pancreas, you know?
There you go.
Pancreas.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about how D&D groups are kind of like the Cronenberg film Shivers? Anyway, just wrapping it back around. So everyone's at least a little bit tired, but Aze more so than anyone, and now Slime, your panic pancreas has shifted out of alignment, and you are also kind of lagging behind. How do you all discuss things as you reach the last leg of this journey? Like up ahead, you can see where the peak cracks the sky, but you still got to get up to it.
Yeah, so I think that Phillippa lags back to talk to Slime, who is lagging behind because of her exhaustion. And Phillippa says, Slime, can I talk to you about something perhaps emotionally burdensome?
Yes, but that might make my emotional pancreas explode.
Oh, okay. can I talk to you about something that is tactically relevant, and we will need to have this conversation now because otherwise we could be in danger?
Sure, I'll reinforce the walls.
If Aze has been his usual self, and it has been nice to have him as our tour guide up the mountain, but it also must be said that we are here for the reason that we are here, to find out if he is, It feels ridiculous to say, but after our conversation the other day, it feels ridiculous. I really thought over it, and I was thinking about Aze, and just everything I know about Aze just doesn't make sense, really. I don't think that he has it in him to do these horrible things, but we are here for what we are here for. So if we get up there and we find Voya's body, obviously murdered, what would we do?
Could anyone else have killed Voya?
I don't think so. Aze took Voya up the mountain. Aze is the one who knows the way up the mountain. Unless it was just a random traveler, I suppose. But that seems unlikely. And look, this hasn't happened, but I think I am trying to logically approach the point of discussing what if we have to fight Aze.
Considering that the three of us are stronger than Aze alone, and him taking us up the mountain, I would assume he very much thinks he's going to prove his innocence. He's not stronger than all three of us. And if we found out he was guilty, we would just kill him at the top of the mountain and then eat him.
Well, we can't. We have to bring him back so the other villagers know that we didn't let... No, that's not... the more important...
Well, I don't want to carry his body. We can keep his head. That's it.
That is good. I think you are maybe putting the dismembered body parts horse before the cart. Before the Beyblade.
I do that.
I am not confident in this situation that it would be the three of us to Aze.
He's gonna eat us?
It's you and me and Basil who sees Aze as a father.
That's true.
If we get there and things look nasty, I think the most important thing will be to immediately reason with Basil and make sure that Basil is on our side and not Aze's side.
I see you are upset. Don't worry. There could be frost giants or those big worms that killed Voya like that.
Okay.
It could be anyone who horribly murdered Voya. Maybe. Don't worry. Doesn't have to be Aze. We'll just have to prove that he did. Maybe. We're surrounded by things that could kill us all the time. It doesn't just have to be Aze. Don't worry. It's okay.
Yes. Maybe. Yes, I will worry less. Yes. Good idea. Yes. Let's go find Voya.
Do you think Aze is a person who would have enough foresight in a murder to smash the people's brains?
Wow, do you think Aze's stupider than an actual literal sheep? Hilarious.
I mean, yes.
Oh my god, blow the fuck out.
Oh my god.
I mean, look, it's not a slight on Aze. I think that sheep is very cold and calculating, okay?
Oh, I really don't. He's a dumbass.
No,
Anyway,
but he's a cold and calculating dumbass.
Phillippa's like, you want to talk strategy? And Slime's like, what if things were worse? Bye.
Yeah. Phillippa, I think Phillippa is like,
Yes, that's actually something that I've been thinking about since our last conversation too. I was thinking about everyone in the village and Venta and the quarry and Potter and how aggressive he was when he thought it was Aze and Nobi and his outbursts. What if everything is terrible? What if community is a lie and we are in a perpetual war of all against all? Oh.
It seems like you're severely lacking in positive chemicals in your brain.
Yeah, I think she's turned into a big puffball while all her feathers have stood on end, and she's just like the big wide owl eyes. She's just really not doing well.
I've watched civilizations rise and fall, and in all of them, there were good points and bad points. One day, Grendel will dissolve into dust and be nothing, and no one will ever remember it. But that's okay. You'll still have lived there.
Phillippa starts to hyperventilate, I think.
Nothing you do matters, and no one's going to remember you, so you may as well be happy.
Phillippa starts to cry.
All right, so Slime is traumatizing Phillippa in the back of the group, so Basil and Ozzy turn around to see what's going on. And this emotional situation is heightening as Phillippa starts sobbing and Slime starts giving you the nihilism lecture, when suddenly something cuts through the din. It is something shocking but familiar. The bleating of a sheep.
The bleating of a sheep?
Bleating.
Oh, the bleating. I was like, no, Nobi, is this where you came to wipe off all the blood?
He's come back to finish the job.
I'm saying I'm thinking it's like, oh, huh. Are there frost giants nearby?
Perception?
Oh.
I'm opting out of Phillippa's perception roll because she's in a bad way.
10 from Basil.
It's an 8 from Aze.
Yeah, so the party fails, and Phillippa doesn't even sit up from the fetal position. The bleeding grows louder, and it seems to be coming from multiple directions now in the whiteout. And Phillippa's not using gust any longer, so the mist creeps back in, and you're all plunged into a terrifying whiteness as the bleeding grows louder and more numerous all around you. I'm going to have to enunciate more specifically. Bleating.
Yeah.
I'll edit in post some bleating.
Yeah.
With all of the sheep noises, Phillippa turns to Slime and says, "Can you hear sheep noises?"
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Ozzy's going to try to make his way over to Slime and Phillippa, and is trying to kneel down to do his best to provide some comfort to Phillippa as well as he can, because he's not sure what's caused her this much distress, while also peering around at all the bleating that is going on.
Dexterity saving throws, folks.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Are we on disadvantage for saving throws as well?
No, that's a higher level of exhaustion.
13.
3.
Ozzy has a 7.
8.
It wasn't quite a botch.
Everyone fails.
Can we Bahram you the sheep?
I'm sorry, what was that word?
Bahram you.
I don't know
Basil
what that
has
means.
tongues.
I mean, I would need to use...
Bahram you. It's from Babe. When Babe learns how to talk to the sheep, they learn the secret sheep code in order to talk to sheep.
I haven't seen that film since I was a child. I just don't remember. Sorry. 2 things, real quick. 1, everyone takes 16 damage as a stampede of sheep run you the fuck over.
Ooh.
That's the first thing. The second thing is now you start hearing the distant thunder of mighty footsteps running in your direction.
Hello.
Yeah, Slime yells hello into the whiteout. The sheep keep coming. That wasn't a quick stampede. You're in the end of the first act of Lion King right now.
Fuck it, I'm gonna burn a spell slot. I'm gonna use tongues and talk to the sheep and tell the sheep, what do I say to sheep?
That's the key to the whole season, really. What do you say to sheep?
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. There's a wolf this way, go that way. Bah.
I love a unicorn saying "bah." Animal handling for me. Your advantage for using tongues is canceled out by the disadvantage of exhaustion. So just give me the animal handling straight up.
Okay. 17.
Hell yeah! All right, Basil, you keep the party from incurring any further damage by redirecting the sheep away from the group. So that's solved as far as taking damage immediately.
Additionally, Phillippa would like to pass without trace, so the whole party is cloaked in shadows and can't be detected by what's obviously giants.
Well, I want to talk to him. I got something to tell him.
Do I need to be disadvantaged on that if I do that?
No, I think pass without a trace is just something you do. There's no roll, I don't think.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Ozzy's going to assist Phillippa by casting Longstrider, which is really renamed to the Traveler's Journey, and targeting everyone. So everyone's movement speed is increased by 10 feet for the next hour.
Wait, I want to leave a note.
Hold on, one at a time. Everyone's getting real ahead of themselves. Let's one step at a time here. Okay. So Basil, you redirect the flow of sheep by saying, "Run this way," and so you're getting them around the party, and you hear some sheep yell back at you like, "Thanks, fuck you, buddy. Don't tell me what to do. You're not my dad.
Get off the road."
You don't want to get eaten. Get the fuck out of here.
But the most important thing you hear them yelling at you is, "Frost Giant, run!" And that thundering footsteps from behind is unmistakable now. But it is footsteps 2 feet, one giant. If it was a hunting party, a war party, it would be cacophonous. In fact, I don't know if they would, have a whole war party run at the same time. That might trigger an avalanche. I think they know their environment better than to do that. But this seems to be one frost giant chasing a herd of sheep. What do you do to this knowledge before we move on to more spells?
Again,
Hey!
Phillippa wants to hide because she's having a panic attack and a giant comes.
Slime, what language do you say hello in?
Oh, shit. What languages do I know? Hold on. Oh, I don't have giant. Never mind. I don't try. Wait! No. I don't. Oh, wait! I have comprehend languages on. Fuck you.
A little aggressive. Let me read this before you do anything. For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. You understand any written language you see. This does nothing for you to communicate to them.
Shit. Never mind.
That spell is tongues. But I do like you yelling, "Hey!" and then just getting no response because that's nothing to the frost giant.
Can Basil cast tongues on me?
That is a solution if Basil has the spell slots. Also,
I do not. I have tongues myself that I can continue to use, but I can't cast it on you.
Can I write? Or I can only read? Okay, never mind.
Basil's gonna run after Phillippa and attempt to do some comforting. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Can I do anything for you?
I think she's just crying a bunch. I don't know.
So Basil, you go to comfort Phillippa. Slime, you're thinking about your spell selection. There's still the chaos of the stampeding sheep, and now you see a dark shape in the whiteout. It's the frost giant. It is arriving to your position, and the last stragglers of the sheep that are running hide behind the party for protection.
Help us! Okay.
Phillippa snivels a little bit and she says,
If they are within 30 feet of me, they will be cloaked as well until I stop doing it.
How about read Pass Without a Trace for the audience?
Sure, a veil of shadows and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection for the duration. Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a +10 bonus to dexterity, stealth checks, and can't be tracked by magical means. Creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no tracks or other traces of its passage.
How many sheep are there?
It's difficult to tell in the whiteout, but I would say 200 altogether. Within 30 feet of you, 20. But yeah, let me be as specific as possible. If you want to say we huddle together with this group of sheep without a trace, the frost giant will pass you by and we'll leave, and that the danger will be over. If that's how you want to handle it, that is the solution.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, the frost giant passes by the group, huddling in the whiteout with pass without a trace. You save these 20 or 30 sheep for sure. You don't know what happens with the rest because the frost giant stalks off towards them.
It's fine. I told them to run faster. They'll be fine.
Their bleating disappears into the distance. As the frost giant is peculiar to you, Phillippa.
I was just going to ask if I know him. Yeah.
I would say roll history with not any advantage or disadvantage. Your exhaustion cancels out. You're living with them. So
4.
Yeah. No, you're like, oh, that guy was kind of weird, but you don't know why. He's gone too quickly. And then you're left with like 20 or 30 scared sheep shivering, in, not from the cold, from fear, in your veil. What do you do?
Phillippa, how do frost giants feel about their dead bodies?
Should I do another roll for this, or?
You can make something up. I was gonna say I don't actually know off the top of my head their burial lore, so I would be lying.
Well, I mean, there was a frost giant grave in Grendel, right? So it's like we've already kind of established that they have.
My intuition would be, because frost giant lore is so heavily based on Northern European lore, it would be like mostly that they would do the Viking funeral pyre, but like the one that was buried in Grendel was like one who had been exiled from the main community.
I mean, people around the world bury their dead nearby to their settlements in the emotional connection of having them stay nearby, and like the Viking burial is a thing for raiding people who are like away, I believe. Like, you can't bury them, so you burn up their body.
Yeah, I'm saying D&D does a very specific Hollywood version of culture, which is why I assume that's what it is. Also,
okay,
but also I was reading in in preparation for the season, I was reading about a town, I think it's in Norway, where the ground is permanently frozen and that they can't bury their dead.
Oh, dang.
They literally can't. And so they have like a policy that if you're dying, you need to leave. Like, you need to go somewhere where you can be buried.
Jesus,
they do not have the capacity. I'll send that link, I think, in the chat.
I've been doing a lot of reading about like burial traditions because of my vampires video that is just came out a few weeks ago when this airs. But like the Draugr in Norse mythology is like this undead drowned man who comes back to try and like take you and drown you as well. And it's like sociologically, like, seafaring people, sometimes someone falls overboard and drowns, and sooner or later they wash up on the coast somewhere, and their corpses are all gross. And like, it's interesting how it fits in with a trend of like so many undead myths are about specifically like the people around them having failed to give them proper burial rites, and that's why they come back as some kind of monster. Which is why I was saying about the Viking burial, and they burn up their guys at sea so that they don't come back as a guy.
The reason I ask is because I was wondering if the frost giants would be upset to see one of their brethren literally turned into what they would consider to be a monster.
Yeah, here's what I would do, Mari.
And if they would all go fight it.
Here's what I would do. I would write that down. I'd keep that a little thought, and I put it in a little safe, and I'd keep it close to your heart, and let's remember it. I found the article. It's Svalbard, Norway. A Norwegian town between Norway and the North Pole, has just under 3,000 residents and has outlawed all burials. It is illegal to be buried in Svalbard. This was like a minor inspiration for Grendel, just like how many people live here. It's like 3,000-ish during season or whatever is like the maximum capacity for the village during the season. So yeah, that's just something I've been thinking about, and that's also kind of the inspiration for Sun, Moon, Stars, because I was like, this is a world of magic, so I can just have a person with a magic shovel. It's not a deal. But yeah, Mari, to answer your question, good question.
Phillippa, I have a question. Well, no, you're upset. Your spleen is burst.
Emotionally. She
what's-
means emotionally.
Your
What's-
emotional organ is
what's-
exploded. It's fine.
what's-
It'll be okay.
What's your question?
Will this question help you feel better?
What's your question, Slime?
Do you remember when you lived with the frost giants?
Yes?
Do you remember that my blue kin has inhabited one of their dead bodies?
Yes. He has become very big and dangerous, yes. I remember.
So to the frost giants, with them knowing that one of them, their own, was turned into a horrifying monster, would that cause them to go to some sort of war against the creature? Maybe a crusade? Some sort of quest?
It would be a direct violation of their burial ethics. They don't want the bodies of the dead to be corrupted, and they have a strong sense that the frost giants are kept within the Akashic stones spiritually, and their bodies must be preserved in tombs. And yes, that would probably cause quite a ruckus, but what you have to consider is probably Mold would respond by killing and taking them over. Doesn't he also have all of the remaining good neighbors?
Yes. But big thing versus big thing may be good.
If I wasn't the governor, I would probably like to just watch that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about that. Think about how awesome that fight would be, Phillippa.
I mean, it might take a couple of problems off our plate at once.
The shivering sheep behind the group go, "Yeah, kill the frost giants!"
See? 33-1.
The
Do
frost
all sheep have murderous intent, Austin?
That's a good
They're
question.
preyed. They seek revenge.
I think I just want to specify only Basil with tongues and Phillippa with the druidic speak with animals can
Oh, shit,
talk
sorry.
can talk with the sheep. I believe not that it's fine for you to joke, but I just want to specify. Ozzy, can you speak with animals right now?
Ozzy has that spell prepared and can cast it. Yes. So.
Okay, but yeah, there's still 30 sheep here before we continue our journey. I don't know how you want to resolve that.
Sheep, do you know where we can get any cool resources for our journey? You got any cool shit squirreled away?
We don't believe in personal property. Also, don't eat us.
I mean, less personal property, more, we need to eat. Do you know where there's food?
Do you have any food? I went a little goaty there. I know animals don't have voices, but that felt more goat than sheep. Weird.
Ozzy is just sort of like petting one or two of the sheep just a little bit while kind of hunched up with everyone. I was thinking it's just like, there's certainly not much up here in terms of food, is there?
No, give us your food.
We saved your life. Give us yours.
Do we have any of the big thing left? The jerky?
Yeah, the supplies are kind of abstracted, but if you can give them food if you would like to, that's on the table.
Is that a lot? Well, first of all, Slime would like to use as many hands as possible to copy what Ozzy's doing.
It's like that Machamp petting 4 dogs meme.
Phillippa says,
Yeah.
Everyone move into the center of the huddle if you want to get petted.
Yeah, we love it.
They said they are consenting to the pets. I checked.
she like looks Ozzy in the eyes, and she's like,
They said they are consenting to the pets. I checked with them, and they said now they have consented to being pet on by you.
Do you know that sheep and goats can actually create offspring? They're called geep or shotes.
I did not know about Geep. I assume Geep can't make more Geep, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a mule situation.
Yeah.
wow.
Would the sheep be willing to, like, give up a chunk of their wool? Like, not enough to make them all cold, just one chunk from each sheep chunk?
It sounds like you want to roll animal handling for shunk or sheep chunk.
Well, because, like, they don't have personal property, but they do have their wool. I don't know. Just have
Your
it.
logic is flawless.
I must say, I'm looking at some geeks. Some of them, like, as babies, they look cute, but, like, the adult ones just look like awkward teenagers.
20.
That's one more. You have disadvantage.
Oh, because I'm tired. Fuck. 16. This is the first time slime has ever successfully animal handled.
No, you. This is a critical plot point. Is you did roll animal handling on Cat because otherwise,
And I did poorly, and Cat ripped my boob off. And guess what happened then? Now we have a villain.
No, but then later during the Baku arc in Marina's shop, you did succeed and you held a long, meaningful gaze. It was
Yeah.
It was very important. And I am also looking at Geep now. They're great.
Just look at this awkward fucker I put in the chat.
Yeah, so with a 16, even on disadvantage slime, you succeed. If you want to add wool to your inventory, I'm not sure for what, but they will trade wool for food. Yeah.
Did you know for a long time researchers didn't think that lesbian sheep existed because the way that female sheep express attraction is by standing still near the sheep they like?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
So lesbian relationships among sheep they just hang out.
I'm in big mood.
I'm wondering why researchers were invested on the question of if lesbian sheep existed.
Heteros are weird.
Look, I need to know that sheep can be lesbians.
Well, I just assumed by default that they were, and I was kind of mad that I'm just imagining a man in a lab being like, those sheep aren't lesbians.
Yeah.
I don't know why that made me mad.
They're just close friends. Did you all see? This is gonna be so dated. Did you see the gorillas in the zoo fucking go in for it?
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to point out that sheep's wool with the grease of the sheep in it is actually extremely flammable, and that's why I want it.
Yeah, tallow, right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's say then for alcohol purposes, we're adding to that stock. But yeah, you can add wool to your inventory, but we all know what that means. Do you have anything else you want to say to these sheep, or anything you want to do here before you continue your journey? They're still like scared and huddling. They're getting pets, I guess.
If any of you are female sheep who are also attracted to female sheep, go for it. Ladies, say hi. She's probably thinking the same thing as you. She's probably wondering, is she or does she just like my style? Trust me, she does not just like your style. She does also, but also she's down to clown. So just say it, okay?
She's never gonna know you like her if you don't tell her.
Exactly. You just have to do it.
We're valid.
As a slime, I can tell the sheep anything you need me to tell them. This is something I tell all sheep.
It's a standard sheep operating procedure.
I'm ready for season 13 and the just beautiful commune of lesbian sheep that we will eventually meet.
It seems as if the number of sheep versus one frost giant was much more in mass versus the frost giant. So next time one frost giant is chasing 200 of you, I want you to know that you could in mass take on the frost giant. Some of you may die, but then it would send a message to not fuck with you. Can you tell them that?
Phillippa explains the prisoner's dilemma to the sheep.
Thank you.
Yeah. They say, we tried that. We lost our mightiest warrior.
It seems like you would need some sort of leader who was ruthless.
He was taken by the frost giants.
What was their name?
Phillippa, did you name Nobi, or did Nobi come with a name?
Nobi was called Nobi when she asked his name.
Yeah. We called him Nobi the Brutal.
Oh, the brutal, you
I
say?
love the secret backstory.
Oh, he wasn't taken by the frost giants. I heard that he went to a really cool place far away and is happy, having a great time.
Okay, this is all great. I want to be clear though. So the frost giants took Nobi back to the village. They were going to eat him. You arrived to convince them not to.
Oh shit. Okay. Right. Sorry. You can. You can cut.
I was gonna say, do you want to roll? No, I was say, do you want to roll deception to reassure them that actually resistance isn't futile and that they should attack because it can only lead to good things, or was that just a mistake you want?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna roll it, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna say. Yeah, I got a thing planned, so I'll just say it. Wait, that should be with disadvantage because of my exhaustion.
Yeah.
Right. She says. No, he actually wasn't taken by the frost giants. I met Nobi, and he killed 3 frost giants before escaping, and now he lives in the new world, waiting for other sheep who have defeated frost giants to join him in glory.
Sheep Valhalla.
Walhalla.
Yeah, Valhalla.
This is a good season.
Bards tell of it.
So you rolled a 10 there, 24 and 10, unfortunately disadvantaged. So I think
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen. I was just going to say they aren't uniformly convinced. I think some of them are given courage by this and will, maybe fight back if they can corner a lone frost giant hunter. But it's not like all suddenly they all become the end of Pink Floyd's Sheep and rise up and kill everyone. God, that song rocks. Listen to Animals, the best Pink Floyd album by a mile.
I made the wall reference in probably the episode that's coming out after this, and then Austin was like, "I'm so sick of everyone getting wall pilled."
It's a good album, but it's in the left zeitgeist right now for reasons too stupid to go into.
Yeah, stupid reasons.
It's good though. But yeah, do you want to re-ask your question, Laura, just so the audience is reminded of where we were going?
Why do you call him the brutal?
Nobi is most fearless. Always in the attack. Always attack. They're all saying, attack, attack.
Well, this is what we are saying. You could maybe use more attack.
I mean, how dangerous could a sheep be? No offense.
I think a couple of sheep try to headbutt you, like around the shins and ankles, Basil.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But yeah, you've given enough of the sheep courage that they can rejoin the flock. Some of them obviously will have been taken by the frost giant by the time the groups rejoin. But average on deception means they have some steel in their heart.
It's fine. We now know that Nobi has a history of being brutal. Like, notoriously so.
Phillippa takes this in exactly the context that she was expressing in her conversation with Slime before. Aw, isn't he just incorrigible?
Uh-huh. But yeah, when you getting picked on all your life as a prey species, the opportunity to exercise power seems pretty sweet, doesn't it?
If you become the bully, you're gonna get bullied less.
Phillippa, maybe Nobi would thrive in some sort of constant war environment.
Well, yes, he probably would, since he has always had this history of being a warrior, apparently.
Maybe he would enjoy the ruthless nightmare that is the world below.
Yes, he probably, yes, maybe his talents are actually wasted in Grendel if he has such a deeply rooted warrior mindset.
He could be a warlord.
I was also thinking about how he would so easily buy the idea that he was a god. It would be like if he had always been the strongest sheep and always the bravest. That made sense to him.
Yeah, that tracks.
So this is the conversation you're having. You bid this sheep farewell and you continue your trek. You exit the whiteout as you near the peak, but the air is so thin up here. Can I get Constitution saving throws?
3. Oh, no. Yeah, 3.
15.
Aze botched.
Got one of those good 0 botches.
So we're gonna eat Aze, right? We're low on supplies and...
Yeah. So you traded the wool for the food, so I didn't count that against your supplies. But I think the the thing that happens here with this botch is that you all are so winded and so tired you have to use too many supplies on your final ascent here. And so you started with 3 Beyblades full, you're down to 1, and you still have to make the trek back down.
Well, down's fine. You just sort of sit down and slide and you'll be down in no time.
Any experienced mountain climber can tell you that.
Yeah, just make sure you bring a little tea tray up with you that you can sit on in your sled.
Oh dear. So what's the conversation the party is having as they reach the summit? This is like a moment of almost spiritual joy and ascendance and majesty and fear all wrapped into one. I'm sure it's going to be a very respectful, kind of reverent tone to whatever you're all talking about.
The reason that I tell every sheep group that I meet that is because when male sheep are attracted to each other, what they do to express this is to mount one another and just go for it hardcore immediately. Whereas with female sheep, they are used to... I'm sorry, I was rambling, I think.
No, tell me more.
Well, they are used to waiting to be mounted, and so they're basically just waiting around for one another to mount, and neither of them ever will, unless you go and tell them, ladies, go get that action, and then they do.
Oh.
It's good.
I'm going to let the Sun, Moon, Stars know about this.
I love this. Is perfect.
I hope she likes it.
Yeah, maybe we'll stand next to each other motionless.
The Mormon way.
No, that's what is it called?
Soaking.
Soaking. Yeah.
I'm so out of my element this entire episode.
Yeah. Oh fuck. I do love the idea of some Moon Stars being like, so this is how sheep do it, huh?
Yes.
Do you want to do the other thing now?
Yeah, like as the group approaches and gets closer to the entrance to the new world, Aze will just sort of come to a stop, basically at the point where he was standing way back in the dream arc, where he sort of entered into the nightmare, where he's just staring into the entryway into the new world and feeling the cold of the mountain around him and such. And he just sort of stops for a moment and just stares.
Yeah, one difference from the dream, because they kind of operated on dream logic, was that you kind of just like reached up and pulled yourself through the hole, like it was like a manhole cover, and then you were near the cave because it's a dream and that's how things happen. Here, physically, you see it's a little bit more complicated than that. The peak of Mount Grendel has been thrust up through the sky with druidic magic and is keeping what is essentially a wound in the sky open. Mm-hmm. Like the natural inclination of this barrier between the worlds is to heal, but it can't because this mountain is like a splinter inside of it. And you're looking up at the sky now, and it has, like, you can see in the crack, it has like an earthen quality inside of it because it is literally the ground of another world where, you know, people can plant plants, like agriculture and stuff. It is soil and earth, but it is right behind the sky in a way that is truly sublime is the only word for it. And so you're all looking at this. It's like seeing behind the veil of reality. It's very like Truman Show. Like, oh gosh, there's something behind our world. And so,
hey Aze, just one last question. Did you kill Voya and chop up her brain?
Fuck, Slime Hall of Famer. Fucking Christ. Put the jersey up in the rafters.
Just one last time before we inevitably come across either a live or dead person. Did you do any sort of brain crushing?
Hang on. Let me... Aze, I want you to understand that whatever we see in the cave, we will all go down to Grendel and deal with it with discussions and level-headed, rational conversation. And nothing rash.
That might probably happen. Yeah, most likely. You won't be killed immediately.
regardless of the answer that I give, it's not going to change where our destination is, isn't it?
You know, I thought about it, and I thought, I might kill you if I did see a dead body. But then, what if I ate your brain and then found out you were innocent? So that would be too embarrassing. So I won't kill you.
Purely the embarrassment is the motivation. Perfect.
Well, I have to explain it to Sun, Moon, Stars, and that's...
Yeah, you don't want that headache.
Yeah. Ozzy starts to try to pull himself forward towards, like, the way through, despite just really being rough right now in terms of his the exhaustion and everything else.
Aze, I don't think you did any of these things, but also I have a responsibility to the people of the town who come here and see where you left Voya, check out your story with my eyes, not just based on a promise from you. It hasn't to do with our personal relationship and what I think of you. I hope you understand that.
I understand, Phillippa. And in that case, it's best that we continue to make progress so I can take you to where I brought Voya, and we can prepare to return to Grendel afterwards.
So one last chance. Did you chop up any more brains? Doesn't have to be who we're about to see. It could be anybody. Any brains that you chopped up. Now is the time. We've all chopped up some brains. It's okay. I've chopped up brains. I'm sure Phillippa, Basil, you're too young, but one day you will too.
Good to know that that's an expected part of my life. Thank you.
That's just the world we live in. It's truly horrifying.
Aze gets visibly frustrated when being asked questions like this from Slime, and just kind of pushes through it mentally to just keep on moving and avoid trying to answer the question.
So that is how the final ascent goes. Slime's question is unanswered, and you climb up the last slope of the peak, and at some point you are in this freezing cold thin air. It's hard to breathe. You can't feel your fingers. It's really rough, and then suddenly there is a complete neutrality to the environment. It's not just that it isn't cold anymore. It's like temperature as a concept has ceased to exist. It's like you can breathe exactly the way you would in a neutral space created by gods to be neutral in this liminal ascent between the worlds. And on each side of you, you see this rich soil. You can see some roots coming down through the bisected wound that you're inside, but the peak is cutting through at an angle. It's like a diagonal climb up through this wound in the earth. And so you're climbing here and you just feel nothing. Nothing on your skin, nothing in your breath. It is the equivalent of those chambers that are soundproof inside. You can hear your own blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anechoic chambers, yep.
We're truly at room temperature.
Yeah. It's kind of upsetting. You're like, oh, you couldn't live here. You couldn't be here for long. I need to pick a side. I have to go.
It has the atmosphere of a well-maintained hospital.
Ooh.
It's not like dark or evil, but it's just upsetting in it's not connected to
it's sterility.
Yeah. And so you're climbing the last bit of the mountain. The cold is behind you, the snow is behind you, and you can see a light at the top of the peak, which just pokes up out of what I guess I'll call the earth, although that term really doesn't have any meaning for your characters. Tell me about squinting up into the sunlight, because the landscape here is both familiar and a little off. We've talked before about how the planets and stars in the sky are too close for comfort. They're not astronomically far like they are in our human world. They're like put there by the gods, like decorating a ceiling, like the little star stickers. They're too close. If you've ever seen the illustrations of Frank Frazetta, who did a lot of like pulp sci-fi fantasy novels in like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
The skies always look really baller. Ignore the extremely muscular and naked people. That's not what I'm talking about. Just the skies.
I will not, but okay.
You don't have to ignore that. That's what he's famous for. But I always, the skies in all these illustrations is what I'm going for here. It's like alien, but it's not like Eldritch. It's not like, oh God, Cthulhu's here. It's just like, wow, that moon really needs to back off and give me some personal space. Also, why is it red?
I'm just rolling nature here. Okay. With disadvantage, but I rolled 19s both times. I rolled 19 both times, and I just wanted to see like how well Phillippa's kind of processing the difference here. So like, what is the sky the singular most striking difference, or is the terrain also like weird?
It's absolutely the sky that is strange. The actual ground, it seems like the gods made it to try to be as comfortable and familiar as possible. They did. There is a little bit off about it, which is if you look north, you see like a cliff and a beautiful ocean. You look east, you see a desert prairie. You look south, you see a snowfield. Like they put all the biomes next to each other because the gods are like,
We've crossed over into Minecraft.
the gods are hubristic and they're not like ecologists, so they kind of they did Minecraft it a little bit, which.
As we're all up here, I just want to note that Basil has had his eyes shut the entire time since arriving up here, and is just gonna turn to Arze and go, "Can you describe it before I open my eyes? I want to make sure I'm ready for this."
Well, if you want to see the most familiar sort of land here, let's face you southward here. All right. Now, you know how the sky above basically is just an expanse of blue and nothingness?
Yep.
All right. So I want you to imagine the exact opposite of that. It is more filled with celestial bodies and planets and stars and all those things that I talk about. And you could stare at there for days on end and be given an endless supply of sights and inspirational views to take in. So,
thank you. I will, in a second when I'm ready, I will have a look.
Phillippa's feeling, the thought that pops into her head is that it is first, like, like you said, like she can observe that there's kind of a weird closeness to the differences in terrains, and like, if it's a known story that this was created by the gods for a purpose, like she has this kind of thought that she's trying to reconcile, which is that although it's not the right word for it, she says she's trying to reconcile the thought that it's fake, and she likes it. Like, although it's so empty and neutral and right, it's like it's not like the world that she's been living in, and she is like, it's kind of like someone put together a place that you could be and be removed from all the heavy baggage of the world below.
I think Basil eventually opens their eyes and looks up. And I think the first thought that they have upon looking up at that sky is, I understand why Arze is so obsessed with this.
Like you can, Arze's looking up with Basil, and Phillippa can see like a It's a weak smile, but it's like a genuine looking smile. Like there's just something comforting about being back up here after the time that he has been away.
Slime looks up at the Skygape and
Don't say Skygape. I'm sorry to interrupt.
We're past the Sky Gate. We're in the new world already at this point.
Slime takes Neela's body bottle out of their mouth and says, at least she's here with us. I think this is a good place to dump her body into a hole.
Slime.
Oh my god.
Wait. That's not right.
Oh, okay.
This is a special place, but she would want to be in the middle of it all. She would want to be right where she lived, in the middle of Grendel.
Interesting. Two people who are not Laura deciding what Laura would want. It's very interesting.
I mean, I know what Neelith would want, but I'm not going to chime in.
I chimed in because I think it's in character for Phillippa to.
Yeah,
say
no,
what
I
she
agree.
thinks.
It's in character. I don't get a say in these things anymore. I don't want to unduly influence what Neelith would have wanted. That's the whole point. We don't know. I mean, I know, but
Yes. So, I mean, Slime, you don't have to agree with Phillippa, but do you?
All right. The bottle body goes back in my mouth.
yeah, I can say as much as that Neelith never expressed a desire to be specifically buried up there.
Her rotting flesh stays with me still. When we returned, she still did her journey. She still was with us.
Yeah. Aze will, after allowing Basil enough time to sort of take in the sight, will say, our journey is nearly complete here, so we go this way. As he gestures towards the biome that the biome direction that has the forest area.
Yeah. There's a wooded area to the west, and you can see up ahead, there seems to be a little settlement, and there's a big sign in front of it.
What does the sign say?
Does anybody speak Celestial?
Aze does.
Oh, so does Basil.
All right. Basil and Aze can read the sign. It says, "Welcome to Arabella." Arabella. That's what it says literally. You know that the word Arabella translates literally into an answered prayer. Same way like Philadelphia translates to like city of brotherly love. It like has it's a name, but also means something.
Sounds pretty gay.
Was that in character?
We've not arrived at, like, literally Voyerville yet, then.
No, that is apparently the name that has been given to the new world.
Yeah. In this case here, the firmament is a reference to the stars above Arabella, but the land that we're on is Arabella, is to restate. But when Ozzy's up here, he's not looking at the ground, he's looking up. That's where all the cool stuff is. Anyways.
I love that you said that because you're approaching the sign and you're looking up at the stars, and you trip over something actually. Do you want a dexterity save to see if you get hurt? This is a class. We haven't done an Aze trip in a while, but you gave me the opportunity.
Aze all the way up a mountain without eating shit.
Well, Aze,
Come on.
Yeah, Aze gets all the way up here. We're walking along. I don't have third level exhaustion, so I'm not rolling with disadvantage here. And Aze rolls a 20 on his dexterity saving throw.
New world, new Aze. So yeah, you trip over something, but you don't fall on your face. If anything, you do like you transfer into like a cool flip. you make it seem like you were planning it.
So what did Aze trip over?
Yeah, sitting on the side of the road, maybe even leaning up against the sign, is a humanoid figure. Do you want to describe it, Sophie?
I think that on first glance, it appears to be a statue. It looks just like a person, very androgynous, like lacking in defining features actually. But like that's it. The first thing you think is like that's just a statue. Someone's made a really weird statue that's just like a person kind of like resting at the side of the road, and that gives you pause to think about it, right? Because it's like what an interesting thing for someone in the New World to make this piece of sculpture. But then there's a vibe you're getting from it, which is that this isn't a statue. This is something else.
Slime licks the statue thing.
Then you get the sense that this has moved.
Yeah, there's a statue leaning up against the sign that says "Welcome to Arabella," and you can see in the distance there's a little Wild West style town that has kind of popped up. But none of these things are what you're here for. Off to the side of the road, there is a forest, and in the forest is a cave. Tell me what you do.
Aze will pat the statue gently, look to the others, and will say, "We can check in the settlement nearby after we're done with our, visit, but let's proceed."
Slime rips off one of their arms and throws it into the woods.
Slime, what are you... Slime... Oh, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just leaving a little bit of me. There's a settlement over there. I thought it was fine.
How did that go last time that you left a bit of you in the woods?
Well, sometimes it goes really well.
Like when?
Well, you know.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm here. You don't trust my arms? It's too late. It's already out there.
Aze rubs his head a bit and will say, geez, I probably should have restated the whole not leaving a trace thing, but...
There's a settlement. How is that traceless?
We're not staying here, Slime. We're returning, so we don't leave things here.
I'm gonna get a shirt made that says "Trust my arms."
Aze makes a point. These...
Yeah.
They stayed here, but we aren't staying here.
But my arm is staying here.
I'm just gonna say I already have. I didn't know this was gonna happen, but I'm gonna put it in the chat. The design Levi made for your arm next season.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Yeah.
But seriously, though, to Slime, the settlement is a part of you all. It doesn't matter that you don't even know them. So I don't see why Slime can't also leave a settlement.
So with this disagreement hanging in the air, it's an interesting tension between Aze and Slime because we're reaching a point where there's discussion about, will Slime kill Aze? So I actually like that this is a disagreement prefacing the walk through the woods. You're crunching through the leaves. It's beautiful. This is a nearly untouched environment crafted by the gods specifically for people to enjoy. It couldn't be more beautiful and idyllic and scenic. It's powerful. In fact, everybody loses 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh,
Yay.
cool.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And in the distance, you do see a opening for a forest cave. So if you want to describe this sketch, or if somebody wants to give a final speech before we get to the cave, now is the time. When the talking ceases, I will reveal what is inside the cave, and then we all have to live with it.
Before we look, again, none of us are going to act rashly in response to what we find. We are just going to see what is there, and then go back down, and then discuss things in Grendel. No rash, sudden decisions. She's like looking around the group, trying to make sure that everyone's on the same page about that.
I agree. If there's any arms around, I can't. They're their own individual.
Yes, I see that is the case.
the arm is not part of our party, so I am not including them in this discussion.
As a compromise for letting my arm be a settlement, I won't kill Aze for now.
We will see how this goes and see where we're at once we know.
And I hope that this gives you the answers that you're looking for, Phillippa.
By the way, there's plenty of times when Slime's comedy's gone well. Think you're welcome for the rink and the bridge.
Who goes first?
Aze will go first, and softly to himself, he's just humming something for a bit of comfort as he approaches the cave.
You enter the cave, and you see a number of items. You see stacks of paper, you see books, you see cookware, you see telescopes and things of that nature for stargazing and astrological research. The most notable thing that ties all of these items together is that they are covered in cobwebs and dust, as if they have not been used in quite a while. The table, similarly covered in dust, a chair, dust, cobwebs, a drawer, like a dresser drawer, a bureau, cobwebs, dust. And in the corner of the cave, you see a bed. And in it, you see a goblin.
An alive goblin?
Are they in a sleep where they do not age and everything's fine and they don't need to eat? Are they in one of those sleeps?
While affected by this spell, the creature doesn't need to breathe, eat, or drink, and it doesn't age.
I'm having sudden moments of, I remember with the hail thing, Austin being like, this is the most important thing I'll say all season. I'm like, I remembered, Austin. It's important. I listen sometimes.
With scars of red tied round their throats to keep their little heads from falling in the snow. And I turned round and there you go. And Michael, you would fall and turn the white snow red as strawberries in the summertime.